Well,
Yeah.
hello,
Okay.
everybody. What?
Clapping.
I didn't like that one. I didn't know where I wanted to go with it.
Could you talk in another accent? Like, just do an accent.
There's no way we're going to, we're
You're
not even get to
never
the
going to get
intro.
through this. We're never going to get through this. Hey,
I love
everyone,
this.
welcome to Blake's podcast, Walk Your Talk or Talk Your Walk. I don't know.
You got to at least know the name of it. This is going viral. You're my big breakout star.
Talk Your Walk.
Talk your
It's
walk.
usually Walk Your Talk, and you flipped it. I like it.
See, because you're going to talk about your walk throughout this life.
Well, the way I looked at it was, if I'm walking it, I need to talk.
You can't talk and walk at the same time. So
You can't. That's true. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Just
welcome everybody to Talk Your Walk. I am with my wonderful, beautiful, very talented cousin Jada. I love her to pieces. We always laugh together, and that's probably how the podcast is going to start. It has to, because this is just what we do. So you may have, if you've seen my other episodes, my first episode was with Jada's brother Derek, my cousin. If you haven't checked that out, please do. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that we reference from there, so it'd be good for you to kind of listen to her life, or her brother's life in the path that he took to where he is. So with all that said, hi Jada.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for joining me.
This is fun. I'm proud of you for getting this going. I know it's something you've talked about for a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I have. It's and I kind of mentioned it earlier. Like growing up, I was thinking about this today. Like growing up, obviously we were close, right? Like, I mean, you're kind of like a big sister to me in a way.
Totally.
Just like Derek was. But I had that brotherhood with Derek just because we're obviously guys, right? You and Janae would kind of do your thing, and then Derek and I do our thing or whatever. And then throughout the years, my relationship with Derek has always grown. It's probably been 2 or 3 years ago now, I was texting you about something, and I eventually called you, and this conversation has stemmed. I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, the conversation I had with you, which I'll get to in a second, and the conversation I had with my buddy Aaron McNeil one night, just like changed my whole, like, whoa, like I don't know anybody, right? So not to be long-winded, the basics of that conversation was, I remember you making the comment of like, people from Indiana forget that I'm not the Jada from high school, because like I've moved. I've had lots of ups and downs. What you see on social media, there's more to that, right? Right. So I I guess I don't know where to start with you. I mean, I feel like there's so much I don't know, right? There's a lot that I know, but I also know that through the great life that you really have had, I know there's been some struggles, right? And we'll start there. We'll start in the beginning. I mean, I really don't know where else to start. So I'm gonna kind of give you a platform. Just introduce yourself, who you are, and what's going on in your life right now.
Well, like you said, I'm Jada. I'm Blake's cousin. If you listen to or watch the first podcast, I am Derek's middle sister, the best sister. Gosh, okay. So Derek was like, well, my mom had me. I came from my mom. I was 9 months old, which I was like, yeah, that's a dad joke. Remember when he said that at the beginning?
Yes, of course.
I mean, yeah, we kind of, came into the world, I think, a little bit different. Didn't get taken home by a traditional mom and dad. And, Derek talked a little bit about that. And I'm trying to.
Well, okay. So let's start with you. So obviously you just alluded to, you were born basically without a father, right? You've never had a father figure in your life.
Yeah. Same story as Derek. So we have different dads. I don't know if he said that. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Obviously he talked about the 23andMe thing. So yeah, different dads. Yeah.
Now,
I
what the
actually just found out something about my dad from talking to my mom that I didn't even know, but we can get into that as we talk more about it.
okay. So what one thing that Derek said that I guess I didn't realize is that I guess I always pictured you and him together in grandma's house and being kind of raised by them. But when he said that you were living with Joe and Ashley and your mom, that kind of threw me for I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize that. So that immediately made me think, oh wow, Jada does have a whole different, and you even text me. I mean, after the
Mm.
podcast, you're like, wow, like I think it was during it, you're like, wow, I view things so differently. So I don't know if
Yeah.
anything jogs your memory, but if you want to kind of touch on that a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Well, and I even just called mom because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't imagining or making up things, but because Derek had mentioned that I was with grandma and grandpa most of the time, and I actually wasn't. So, and my mom, of course, she couldn't remember like those first few toddler years, because that was a long time ago, 43 years ago.
Right.
Um, but I do remember at a very, how you just have weird, like 2-second memories and you don't have any context. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's my
I
whole
do have
life.
well, no, me too. I think we've talked about that, how we just don't remember a whole lot of things. But I do remember being very, very little and living with mom. And actually, it was her best friend at the time, Myra, who, her
Yeah.
family. Myra
Yeah,
has
that's
passed.
crazy.
God bless
That's
her.
what
But
I just mentioned Aaron McNeil,
oh,
and that
yeah,
so
yeah.
happens to be Myra's son-in-law.
Son in law.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I remember mom lived with Myra for a while, and I lived with mom at that time. And then, so that's like the earliest memory I have. And then when I was 7, mom ended up marrying Joe, who was my sister's dad. And really, from then until our grandma died in 95, I went back and forth. And I did that a lot. I mean, I
Really?
talked to oh, yeah. My mom said I was with her every week, but maybe for a night or two. And my thinking is that when I was with my grandma and grandpa, I was afraid my mom thought that I didn't want to be with her and my
Mm.
sister. And she was also married to an abusive man. And I was worried about her. And so then when I was with my mom, I was afraid my grandma and grandpa's feelings were going to be hurt. And I missed
What
being with my brother.
what age is this? What age is this
Well, this
frame?
started at 7 years old.
So you kind of remember having this pull at that time of your life of like, I want to,
Oh,
I did you feel safer with grandma and grandpa
oh,
than
absolutely.
I figured?
We, Derek and I didn't get along with our stepdad. He didn't, we weren't his children. He just was kind of a mean man, anyway, but you add alcohol to it and he was really mean and he just didn't like us. But I felt in a way I could protect my mom and my sister when I was with her. So, and I remember every day, you talk about feeling pulled. I remember every day thinking, who am I going to stay the night with tonight? I mean, I did every single day at
Wow.
school. I would dread it. Because
Wow.
I knew my mom would stop by grandma and grandpa's house after school and pick up my sister because Ashley was always with them. And Derek would
Ashley
use,
Ashley was always with Joe and Wanda.
yeah. And
Right.
Derek was always with grandma and grandpa. And I would have to make a choice like, oh, am I going to go with my mom and Ashley tonight or stay with grandma and grandpa? And it just,
Wow.
I hated that. I felt I was hurting somebody's feelings all the
Right.
time.
Right. So how did and and I have 3 daughters, and you just mentioned that you're the middle child. So I immediately just started thinking about how Addie is so
Mm,
protective of Everly and is, I mean, really become a mom. I mean, she really is incredible. Did you feel that? Did you feel that where you needed to protect Ashley and also protect your mom and kind of be that ear for the family of what's going on that side, so to speak?
yeah, I felt really protective over Ashley and I felt in a way there was times I needed to be the mom for my mom because there were times her and Joe would get into physical fights and I'd be there just to help calm her down or whatever. I mean, I just felt like if I'm not there, then something's going to happen. But I mean, I felt really protective over both of them.
Wow, that's tough. Is there things in your life now that maybe, I'm trying to think how I want to word this, that maybe you see in your life now, or maybe even in your family now, that like now that you have your own kids, that maybe strikes memories from that time, or I don't know how I'm trying to word this. Um,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? Like, do you,
trying to think.
yeah, because the there's a lot that I want to unfold in this. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find the right words for this question, but
Well, I don't know if this is where you're going with it, but talking about have I felt any triggers kind of from then that would have I gone through, have I felt things with my kids or with Ryan that reminds me of that kind of that home life? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know if there's anything you can relate from, like, maybe from the stuff that your mom was going through to like what you went through. I I'm screwing this up. I'm not getting it out the way the way
No,
I'm thinking it. I can just
it,
edit that whole out,
you
that
know,
whole thing out.
I told you were gonna have to edit. I don't know if this is gonna apply to what you're trying to say, but there there are times that I have been let's see, God, I'm really gonna butcher this. There are moments where I feel like I'm not handling life well, like just, just life.
Hmm.
Kids, married a long time, have ran a business for a long time, just life. There are times I feel like I'm not handling it well. And my thing is to kind of go in my room and shut my door. And my mom used to do that. And granted, I mean, life was not, it wasn't ever easy for her. We moved a lot from apartment to apartment. And then she married this man. And, I could see a lot of hurt in my mom, and she would do that a lot, shut the door on us. And I know it wasn't intentionally to shut us out, but I think it was just her way of dealing with everything. Just had to close out the world for a minute. There's times that I've caught myself doing what it felt when my mom did that to me. And I know it wasn't because of us, it was just her way of handling it. I
Hmm.
don't know. In that way, I've been very, very self conscious about. I just never have a closed. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things, you learn a lot from your parents, but you also learn that they're not perfect. And they would all admit that
Right.
that they haven't done things perfectly. And that's, I don't know if that answers your question at all, but
No,
that's
you're,
one thing I try
yeah, I didn't give you
not to
much on
do.
that. I didn't give you much on that
It's okay.
question, but yeah,
Just
yeah.
that was a freebie.
Yeah, yeah. I think, one of the things I want to get at too is like, I know, like, once I had kids and once I started watching them develop and become little human beings, it
Mm,
like I remember my thought was just so now when I look at older people, it's like I'll look at him and I'll just be like, that was a baby at one point. Like that was a kid at one time, and that its life just, it went one way, it went one, like it had different breaks, had ups and it had downs. And like I guess I've kind of always felt that for your mom,
mm,
Wanda, right?
yeah.
Like it wasn't the ideal situation, right? You're young, you get pregnant, you're going through life, you find another guy, you get pregnant, right? And the next thing you
Yeah.
know, you've got three kids and you're trying to find someone just to support you. And then you find this, what becomes a dirt bag of a guy. Your mom has never had like a good guy in her life, right?
No, never.
You've
Mm-mm.
got a good guy in your life. My mom has had a good guy in her
Oh
life.
gosh, yeah.
Right, right. Hopefully, Nika can say she had a good guy in her life. I mean, that's what we're doing. So I do think about that. Like with the kids of like,
Mm.
like when I think of your mom, I'm like, man, she was. She had to be trying to do her best, right? Like,
Oh, for sure. And the guilt that I'm sure she felt because she knew her kid's life didn't look the same. Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah,
there wasn't a father in the house, so to speak. I I wouldn't wish my worst enemy to carry any of that because I know it had to be painful. I mean,
yeah.
I think that's clear because of the lack of conversation she's wanted to have about it. Do you know what I mean?
I was going to
There's
ask you
not
that.
always.
I was going to ask you that. have you guys been able to talk about it? You know, I mean, I think her hearing the conversation I had with Derek was like very, you know, I know she made the comments, "Oh my God, did anybody say anything bad about me?" You know, and I hope that doesn't come out at all. You know, I'm literally trying to talk about your guys' life and the because in all reality, I think you both are very happy, you know,
Yeah,
and you guys are
for
very
sure.
blessed to have specific people in your life to kind of help, you know, and so is Wanda. I mean, Wanda can now look at you and have be proud of her kids, you know. So in the end, it's a
Yeah,
beautiful thing, right? But
yeah.
but but I to me, oh man, I think it's the struggle, you know, and with you having your own kids, like, I mean, could you imagine? Like, could you imagine just not having like Ryan around,
I,
you know, or just that
no,
extra support and
no,
help?
I mean, he's getting ready to go on a 3-day trip, and I'm already thinking my kids probably are not going to make it to school 2 of those 3. I'm already planning on keeping them at home. Listen, I married a rare gem. I mean,
Yeah,
he is
is
as
it?
much of a parent as I am, if not more. He really is.
Yeah,
He's amazing in all ways.
yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
that's what it
And
takes. I mean, it takes a team for sure. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and to imagine my mom never having that, you know, that first of all, that help, and then second of all, just that safety for your kids. Like I don't feel like I have to worry for 1 second that my children
Hmm.
are gonna ever think that they're not loved and that, you know, they're not being cheered on and, you know, encouraged and cared for and nurtured. Because Ryan does that so well, just
Hmm.
naturally.
Right.
And just I don't know, I just, just to put me in mom's shoes for a minute, it's just a sickening feeling. I know she had to have just, I don't know, really hurt over that for a long
Right.
time, really until she could see us grow up and now sees that we turned into some pretty great kids, I think. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah,
we
I
both
mean,
have
yeah,
amazing
you
families.
probably beat the statistics, you know, right?
For
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
we
yeah,
did. What I think society would have said looking at us, and they would not have, you know, had high expectations for us. But I think, like you said earlier, and Derek talked about, the Lord put so many influential people. We have an amazing extended family. Like you
right.
don't get that in most families. Um, I
That
think that was, and our grandparents obviously was just our saving grace.
yeah, I was gonna go down that path next. You know, we've obviously talked about your mom. You know, you're the one that kind of got Derek to do the 23andMe because you were interested in finding your dad. Talk to me through that. When did that process begin?
So that actually started because my oldest, Micah, is adopted. She had expressed interest because at her school in California, there were a lot of Russians. Actually, a little fun fact for you, Sacramento has more Russians than the actual country Russia.
What?
Crazy. Yeah. I know.
That's crazy.
So smart.
God, you
Anyway,
are.
so are you turned on?
Oh my God.
We haven't been inappropriate at all. And it's been like 40 something.
I know it's been way too serious. I'm fumbling over my questions. I don't even know what to ask. I'm like, neither one of us is cussed. I can't even believe it. It's like this is not normal.
Expect so much more. They've
I
turned
know.
off. I mean, they're like, we're done. This is way too Christian. I'm just kidding.
It's
Let's
so funny.
edit that
We
last
need.
part.
No, we don't. I ain't editing any of this. It is what it
No.
is. This is us. I
So
love it.
Micah had some Russian friends, and we had been told on the adoption paperwork that her birth dad was Russian. His last name was like Melenkov ballistic or some, something weird. Very Russian. Sorry, I butchered that, Dad. Um, my baby's daddy.
So,
um,
how are you going to apologize to that guy?
I know. Well, okay, listen.
Uh,
So Micah is so excited. She's even learning some Russian at school. She's like,
wow.
I'm gonna find out how much Russian I mean, not really
Oh,
learning it. Like kids
yeah,
are teaching her.
yeah.
Anyway, so I think, okay, well, we're gonna do 23andMe on you. And at the time she was, let's see, this was 2019. This was right before COVID. So 2 years ago. So Micah was 13, and we've always been open about her adoption and about things that went down. We've always, as she's matured and can understand it, we've been pretty open with her. So anyway, so we got her a 23andMe test. We actually got them at the same time, hers and mine. So
Wow.
I know. So we
That's
did
cool.
because it was like buy one get one 50% off. So and
On Amazon.
I cannot believe you didn't know Amazon sold those. Do you know the
No.
things you can get on
Well,
Amazon?
of course I do. I didn't know
First of
DNA
all my
samples.
chapsticks right here are from Amazon.
Dude, my girl loves her chapstick. Anyone that knows Jada knows that she always has chapstick with her. Hey, I do too. Hey, I straight up. This one was given to me.
Cheers.
It says Bauer
Cheers.
belt. It says Bauer belt on it. I don't buy nothing.
Okay, cheers. Cheers to
Cheers.
chapstick. I mean,
Yep.
this is life.
So ridiculous.
This is
Hey,
life.
I also want to bring this point out. I was waiting
You're
for
gonna
a
talk
moment
about
for,
our ears. Huh.
no, my ears are on fire right now. Look at these things. At least you can cover yours up.
I look at my neck. Why?
Why are
What?
you so red?
I don't.
I,
Your ears
I,
get red. My neck gets red. Like I don't know. It's
at least you
ridiculous.
have hair to cover it. I got these big old floppers. No, I was gonna
I
make
know.
fun of you, and I don't even know if there's any truth to this. The whole Eminem comment.
Probably. I
Is it
I
true that you got upset because your M&Ms had W's on them? Is it true?
listen. Yeah, I said that. I don't understand why. Like I feel like maybe I had a brain stroke at the moment
Oh my
because
gosh.
I said like, why are there was's or W's or I don't know. That was the same year I
It's
thought Chicago was a state.
yeah, that's almost understandable. No one ever says Illinois. It's like everyone,
It's true. I mean,
especially
I
in the
wonder why are
90s.
there no Chicago license plates? This is crazy. I don't know. Hey, listen, I've never said I was very smart.
Yeah, neither have I. That's one thing you and I didn't get.
Right.
The brains. But hey, we're
Right.
entertaining if nothing else. So
That's true. That's true.
oh my
So
God, where were
okay.
we going? Yeah, 23 and
Okay.
me. Yeah. So
23andMe.
your
So
daughter's half Russian.
okay. Well,
That's
no. So
amazing. Ah,
here's
dang.
the kicker. I know. Here's the thing. You got to be ready for whatever
She's
23andMe tells you.
she's learning
She's
Russian for no reason.
she is not Russian at all whatsoever. Like there is 0%. She is as
Okay.
white as you can be, which
Okay.
she was super sad about that. But then also, and
Okay.
she didn't even get this part that I
It's
was like,
2020. Hey,
so
it's 2021. No one wants to be white. She's like, oh man, I'm full white. I didn't get a little bit of something.
sure, I know, just something. So anyway, so which that also told us is that who we thought was her bio dad isn't her bio dad. So, whole other story, So, but
Wow.
I mean, it was good to know that. So anyway, mine came back in November. And, when you register it online and give it permission to put all of your stuff out there, then when you get your results back, then you download them. And the first thing it tells you is that if you have a DNA match, it says you've had a DNA match. And and Derek hadn't done his yet. So obviously it didn't pull him up. It pulled up a girl named Shannon and it was like a 51% match. And
Right.
I was like, I don't know, Shannon on the Graves side. Holy cow, this has got to be on my dad's side. So I kind of looking through her stuff and I message her and she messages me right back. Like this girl was waiting for me. So I just, and I just like said something really quick. Like, I know this is crazy. My name is Jada. I was born in 1977. I don't know who my dad is. Sounds really
So
stupid.
let's just get
Well,
right to it.
will you be my daddy? No,
Yeah,
and
I'm looking for
anyway,
one.
I said my mom, said that my dad's name was Terry Howard. You popped up, and anyway, and right away she was like, "Yep, Terry Howard is my uncle. My mom is his sister." And I was like, holy, I mean, and then I gave the computer to Ryan. I was like, this is too much. Like
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe that I was getting this information so fast. And
Yeah.
over the next 24 hours, she sent me pictures of my siblings. So there's two brothers, two sisters. And she sent me pictures of them. She sent me pictures of my dad. I'd never seen a picture, never seen a picture. I saw a picture of
That's
him in the
crazy.
70s, and I saw a picture of him in 2019. Um, so she, was telling me a little bit about him, and then she did tell me that unfortunately he had passed in 2019 in November. So about a year right before I did it.
Oh man, that's a bummer. Would you have reached out to him?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh
without a
yeah.
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
S- So
I mean, yeah, I mean, well, I shouldn't. I would want to, but
would
I
you have
guess I
sat
shouldn't.
on it?
I would have been afraid because I don't want to disrupt anybody's life, and especially there were the four siblings. They were already existing. They were already there. So clearly, he had a family. Um,
Oh, so you're saying the four other kids are older than you?
yes,
Oh, so that's exactly kind of what Derek's situation was too.
yeah, yeah. Like my cousin sent me pictures of them. I mean, I think the two sisters looked like they were maybe 7 and 5 in 77 when I was born, so quite a bit older than me.
So you still
And
have those
then
pictures? Like
I
I'm sure they
do.
sent it to you over your phone.
They sent it, yeah,
Okay,
Facebook messaged me.
so
But
send
then
those
didn't
send those to me, and I'll try to put them on this
oh,
like
okay.
later. Yeah. Anyways.
Like, send them right now, like as we're
No, no,
talking?
no, no. I'll do it later.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, 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 okay. Well, remember over 4th of July, didn't I? Oh, I don't think I showed you. So when she had sent me a picture, excuse me, of one of my sisters um, sitting on who would have been my grandma Betty's lap. She sent me this picture and I get it. And I am like, it looked like a picture of me. And
Oh
I
my
was like,
goodness.
what? Like those pictures back then kind of had like a red tint to them
Yeah.
because that was so long
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, and I told her, I said, I am like freaking out right now because that little girl looks just like me. It was
That is
crazy. And
crazy.
so since then, I've put the pictures like together in a side by side, and it is, I mean, the resemblance it's shocking. We look like the same child.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Man, that's so
So
wild.
I
Yeah,
know, super.
have you built any excuse me, have you built any small friendship relationship with any of those siblings?
No. Excuse me. I reached out to my brother Corey. Him and Christy still live in Indiana. They're actually both realtors, which is funny because I'm a realtor too.
Yeah.
Um, I reached out to him and he was very clear from the get go that he wanted nothing to do with this. He actually told me that Terry was not his father. So I don't know, if that's true or not.
Wow.
And then Christy, the sister, we started out having a pretty good conversation. She was really, interested in talking to me. We did some messaging, we did some voice texting. And then one night I got this weird message from her where she just was laying into me. She was like, I don't know what you want. I don't know if you want money. You should be ashamed of yourself. I hope you don't have any kids. It was like out of
Really?
nowhere. Yeah. And then so I kind of sent her a message, saying I'm not about drama, whatever, and explained a little bit of
Yeah.
things. And about 3 months later, she sent me another message and she said, I'm so sorry about that. I still would love to talk to you. And that was January 2020. And then, COVID hit, we moved, and I just
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
gotten back into
Yeah,
it. So
it's obviously not a, what do you do, right? Like what it's hi, I'm this person, you're that person. And
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not like I was trying to get anything. I was just trying to figure out, hey, you know, my kid's figuring out something, I might as well try to figure it out. So
Yeah.
so Derek said that, he really kind of felt like he had a father figure. I mean, did you feel like most of your life that you really didn't have a father figure? Did you, I mean, even with maybe the relationship, even my sister Janae, had with my dad or whatever, was there anything did you feel empty growing up? Did it bother you at all?
I did. I did.
Really?
I felt that void, way more than Derek did, I think, watching the video back. Um, and I think I thought a lot about it because I had all of the same guys in my life. Your dad, Uncle Daryl, I had Uncle Larry, and I mean, and Grandpa. I think that I think it's harder for a grown man to come in and take a girl that's not his own. I think it's hard for them to take her under their wing. It's way
That's
easier to
tough.
go after the boy. You have more in common. It just it's just more of a natural thing.
It's no
And
different. It's no different than me with Jackson over Ava,
right,
right? Like I'm always going to gravitate closer to
to
Jackson. Just
Jackson.
yeah, just for because we're
Always.
boys, right?
I mean, it has to be awkward in a way for, Daryl to, it just
Yeah,
had to have been different. But I mean, I did, and I'm a girl, and different genes and emotions.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's something I cried about a lot, and I just inside thought, I just wanted my family. I mean, I wanted my family to look like your guys's, and to look like Larry and Marcia and Kayla and Kristen and
right,
Nathan and Ryan. I mean, I wanted a dad so bad. I really
right.
did. I, it wasn't the same. It just wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's tough, and it definitely wasn't the same, and it's kind of understandable, because you already had your mom, and then you had all your other moms and with your aunts, helping
Yeah.
out. So it's like you had that abundantly, but you still didn't have that connection with a man, even grandpa. You got to think about the situation he's in. It's
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And Grandpa was such a sweet man, but very gentle, well mannered. Just, I remember him as kind of quiet.
mm, I do
You
too.
know, I just, I don't know. I mean, I just think he was in an awkward position too. Like, here I am, 50 something years old. I'm getting ready to retire, and there's this young girl in my house.
Yeah,
I think that he was in a tough spot. I do. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you
I
don't
think it
think
was,
about it until like, I'm almost 40 and it's just like, man, that's like 10 years from now, starting kind of starting kind of
oh my
starting
God,
over.
don't remind me. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. Um,
It's really weird.
yeah. So okay, so you get through school or whatever. You went to the private school just like Derek did, just like my sister did, just like my brother-in-law did. I mean, I was talking to my wife the other day. It's funny that like a lot of the people I'm talking to, of course, two of the people have been family so far, but it is kind of that Mount Calvary circle. Like there's some people
Yeah.
I'm already, thinking about that I would love to talk to from back then. It was such a unique experience,
It
and I don't know if
was.
it's because we were young, but I mean, there was just a lot there. So you did that, and then I felt like Jada disappeared. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like Derek kind of disappeared, and then Jada disappeared, and I don't. I feel like there was a large gap there, right? Where maybe see each
Mhm.
other every other holiday, but there's no real talking going on. So I,
Yeah.
I think I think I want to go there next. Where did you go? Like just kind of give us your last whatever, 10 to 15 years, I guess, or maybe more than that.
Well, I mean,
20.
I've been married.
I know.
We'll have been married 23 years in June.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, I've been
Okay.
gone 25 years.
Yeah. Isn't that
25
crazy?
years.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So
I mean,
you've been gone longer than you were here.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
That was a weird thing when I noticed that. Like, God, I've been away from home longer than I was there. Like, I don't know, is that still home? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
weird, crazy.
Yeah. So what took you to California? Is that the first was this
Well,
go ahead.
no, we went to Georgia because, well, I graduated, went to college because I wanted to be with my brother. And I will touch on that with Derek and the whole dad thing, that the older I got, I started looking to Derek as my dad, and even more so now, like, bless his heart. I try not to put that demand on him, but I mean, I do. I mean, I call Derek about things I call a dad about. I call him and cry about Ryan and I arguing or think decisions we need to make. I mean, everyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with my brother. I mean, I think so highly of him, but
Yeah, he's
I'm
great.
just so thankful, that he's my brother and, has always been there. So,
And
but
that's a cool bond though, that you are able to do that. And excuse me. And I bet these podcasts is probably going to bring out even more conversations that you guys are going to have.
oh,
Because
for
I
sure.
mean, do you guys touch on childhood much, like when you have your
We
talks?
talk about it all the time.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
we do.
good.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
do. I mean, yeah. Yeah, we've had some really good conversations, especially since he's found his dad. I mean, that's
Yeah.
opened up some stuff.
I
It's opened up some insecurities in me. Yeah. I mean, I
oh
cried when he did.
yeah. So you're saying for the good, it's helped you? You said it
Um,
opened up some insecurities, or are you saying it
no,
intensified them?
no, it just brought up some, maybe insecurities is the wrong word. I mean, jealousy at first. I mean, when he called me and he said, "You're going to want to sit down." And I said, "What?" And, I was thinking something had happened in Indiana with somebody. And he said, "I found my dad." And I said, "Oh my gosh." And he said, "He's alive and he wants to talk to me." And I said, "Of course he does. Of course he does. My dad's dead. Yours is alive and well. He's already invited you to freaking North Carolina and off you go into happily ever after." I mean, I,
Poor Jada.
I'm dealing with ticks in inappropriate places here in Tennessee, and you find your dad and he wants to have a relationship with you. Awesome. Like,
Good for you, brother.
way to
You
go.
had four
You're
fathers.
come
You had four of them.
right, add it to your list. How you
I
keep
got
it straight?
I got zero dads. You have four.
Zero.
Oh man. It's funny you said
No.
that, because like that was one of the first things I remember asking Derek. I was obviously happy for him. Derek was obviously happy for him, but I asked him, I was like, how do you think Jada's gonna take this? Because it's like, because I'm sure you wanted that closure and you wanted a little bit of that, just that something, right? Well, at least I met him. At least I mean, you have a little bit
Yeah.
of it because you at least know who he is and who he was, and you can kind of look at
Yeah.
your situation and be like, it's probably best. Yeah, go ahead.
But more than anything, I'm gonna try not to cry because that gets fugly, and then you're gonna start crying.
Oh, I can't wait.
More than anything, I didn't want to feel like I was losing Derek. Like we had kind of just walked this journey together. I'm not having a dad, not having a typical childhood. And even though we felt differently about it and it affected us differently, I still felt like I had him in my corner. But now that he had found his dad, I felt like I was gonna lose him. Does that
Wow.
make sense?
It does make sense. It's like he found that other piece of him, but
Right.
you kind of wanted all of them.
Oh, I want it
Just
all. Yeah.
yeah, because you're right. I mean, it's exactly what you said. That is your father figure
That was a bond
in a
that we
way.
shared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because like you
Yeah.
said, you've looked at Derek as kind of that comfort zone. That if I can't go to my husband, I at least have this guy. And now you feel
Totally.
like, yeah, well, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys have talked about that, but
Yeah.
I'm
And
sure
I mean,
that's not going to change. Your guys'
that
relationship is not going
that
to
has
change.
that has passed. That was just, I'm
Your
pretty
initial,
irrational when things first happen. I mean, go to the extreme. Like, he's not gonna
right.
want anything. How many sisters do you have? You have like 7 sisters and they're rich and all amazing and have a beach house, and now you're whatever.
Every, yeah, his side of the family is the extremely rich and well-off family, and yours
Yeah,
has like four teeth all together.
all together combined. Yeah,
One couple is
awesome.
sharing one tooth. Like it's that bad.
It's horrible. Horrible. Yeah. So
So funny. Oh
so
man, poor.
I mean, obviously now, like as it unfolds, I'm super excited for him. And I think now I'm like, well, when am I going to get to meet your dad? I mean,
Yeah. Have you
are you
told him
going to
about me
introduce?
yet?
I asked Derek that, and he has. So
Yeah.
did Derek? I think you mentioned it. Derek found out that his dad has a granddaughter named Jada,
Yes. How
which
crazy is that?
is crazy. So that's
Yeah.
when I had asked Derek, like, have you told him about me, like, and stuff? And I kind of need a dad. Will he be my dad? And
Yeah. Yeah. I'm, I'm taking
baby,
applications.
baby steps,
Yeah.
baby
Can,
steps.
can we share you? Like, is he like, I mean, it's like I told Derek, like, could you imagine being how old he is? And then, you're finally contacted by this,
Oh,
other man, that's wanting to meet you. And
grown man.
now his sister's like, hey, just sign here. We'll make it all legal.
I found my son. He's got this sister, a loose cannon. I mean, she is just he
She's
no,
all over the place.
he seems
So,
he seems so kind. When Derek told me about their first conversation and how he called him buddy, I just for some
oh,
reason that has stuck to me. That is such a term of endearment. And
yeah,
I don't know, it just was like, I don't know,
yeah,
just so it made me so
yeah,
happy for him.
yeah. Yeah, I was overwhelmed too. It was just such a cool moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah. So anyway,
you're in Atlanta, right? And
we are
then,
in Columbus, Georgia, Fort Benning.
oh,
Ryan
okay,
was stationed there for 4 years. And so 2002, it's time for him to get out. So we decided to go to California. That's where his family was. Um, we could have gone anywhere, but he didn't want to go to Indiana because of the winters. He didn't want to
right,
deal with that. So, and some stuff had really started to happen with my younger sister. Lots of
yeah,
that drama was starting up, and I just felt like I couldn't be around for that, and it just was too hard. So anyway, so we went to California and hung out there for 18 years. I mean, didn't plan on it, thought we'd stay there for a few years, and moved to Texas to be with my brother, and ended up staying there till last year.
right. So, you you mentioned the drama with Ashley. How hard? Because I know you felt like you're obviously the big sister to her. Like, how difficult was that? The literally leaving town, literally, like, I
Um,
can't do, I don't know if want to say you couldn't deal with it anymore, but you now know she's on her own with your mom and whatever the situation is at that time, right? Was that hard, or did you
yeah.
need to get away?
Well, I think it just I just I just knew from the very beginning that there was nothing any of us were going to be able to do to stop this downward spiral. Because I know Ashley is carrying so much hurt and shame. I mean, you talk about someone that has a story to tell. I mean,
I've thought about it.
there's no telling the stories that we would hear. I don't think any of us would are prepared for it.
No.
I just I don't know. I mean, I just felt like I can't she's not going to listen to me. And there was a time where Ryan and I, while we lived in Georgia, Ashley came to live with us for a little bit.
That's
We
right.
brought her in on a Greyhound bus. And I don't know, I think she was there for 2 months and didn't want to follow the rules and, you know, sleep at home. She
Yeah, that's rough. We obviously love Ashley, and if she's hearing this, we
we
love you.
absolutely
We
do.
absolutely love you. We hope you're doing good.
Yep.
That'll get that'll get me to cry.
I know.
um, um, so I know you went to California for a while. Seemed beautiful there. Seemed like you guys had an awesome life there. And then I know you guys recently just moved to Tennessee. What made that switch?
There were a few different things. And we did. I mean, we lived a good life for a long time in California. I felt like under our culture standards, we were living the American dream. I was staying at home, finally had kids once they came. Ryan was had a very successful business, making great money, and just, I don't go into an awesome church and just had amazing friends, and living in California, doing all
Yeah, no
that.
kidding. Yeah.
And just, the last 5 years, I mean, gosh, if you watch the news, everyone knows that, California has one of the most evil governors. Just slowly, we felt like freedom started being taken away. One of the main things was 2 years ago when they took away the choice for parents to make decisions regarding vaccines. That was number one on our list that we were like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
We didn't, we just feel like that should be our choice. And they took it so far as to your children can't go to school unless they're vaccinated. And we were like, nope, 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 nope.
Yeah.
And then two, the school that the girls were going to, they had to close down their high school because they couldn't afford to keep it open. And I mean, it's hard without going into Micah's story, but my oldest has severe learning issues. So, and that was a great school for her. In that season of life, we felt like she was getting what she needed. She was safe there. So when that closed, we just kind of freaked out. We were like, oh my gosh, we had her whole future planned. She was going to graduate from Freedom, and then between the vaccine thing and then the school closing, and then my husband had his own business there for 18 years, and the state started to get involved, trying to change some laws, and kind of went after them because they had a lot of subcontractors, and it just
Became a
started
mess.
becoming, it became a mess. I mean,
Well, it sounds like
Ryan
people.
Ryan was under so much stress, and we thought if we don't leave, he's going to have a heart attack. Just
Wow.
it just became too much. I mean, it's expensive to live there, so many people. I mean, just
Yeah,
and
and
we had wanted to leave, sorry, a long
no,
time
you're
ago, but that's hard to do when you've made a life for yourself, and all his family was there. I mean, it wasn't an easy decision, but we just finally got to a point where we said we're fed up. If we're going to do this, we want to do it now. Micah's going into high school. We don't want her to graduate while we still live in California and then her feel stuck there. We got to get
right.
out. So
Right.
we
Well, it
did.
sounds like you guys got it out the right time too, because now
My
everybody's fleeing that
gosh.
state. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys did the right thing, so good for you guys. Um, let's talk about Micah.
Okay.
So you guys went many years unable to get pregnant, right? And then went
Yep.
into the adoption process. Take it from there.
Yep. 8 years we had been trying. We had had one miscarriage before that. And no answers as to why we couldn't get pregnant and carry a baby. I mean, no answers at all. We had done 12 artificial inseminations and nothing had taken. So we started the adoption process. And that wasn't something that we just thought, oh, well, let's adopt since we can't have kids of our own. We always wanted to adopt. I remember when we first started dating, Ryan and I having that conversation at a picnic table on campus. And we both talked about, we want to adopt because there's, you know, obviously so many kids
Right.
that need it. And Ryan comes from a large family that has a lot of adoptive kids and foster kids. So it's something he's just always been around. And then I just always wanted to do it. So we started that process in 2005 and got matched with a few different families before they fell through. And in 2006, in January, we got matched with Micah's birth mom. And was with her for a few months, like taking her to doctor appointments and, some Walmart grocery trips, helping her
Right.
out. And she went into labor a month early with her on February 10th and had her.
Wow. And
So,
then what happened?
well, in the state of California, so the birth dad, well, who we thought was the birth dad, he had already signed over his rights, so he was not a threat. But the birth mom in the state of California, so from when your child, when a child who's going to be adopted is born, they can go home right away with the adoptive parents, but there starts a 30-day waiting period. So for that 30 days, we're really just temporary guardianship. And then when that 30 days expires, then the adoption can move forward. So
Right.
the birth mom had 30 days to change her mind. And but she didn't. First of all, we brought Micah home, and day 9 she finally signed the paper that started that 30 days. So Micah was almost a week and a half. So anyway, we get to day 28 and we get a call from our attorney during the day, and he says, we've been on the phone with Kendra all morning long, and she wants Micah back.
My
So keep
goodness.
in mind, this was her 7th pregnancy, and she had her tubes tied, only 23 years old. So she
Mm.
wanted to try to mother Micah because it was her last baby that she'd have.
Oh
So
man.
Micah and I, we were actually going to the downtown office to get her birth certificate. And Ryan called me and was crying, which is unlike my husband. He said, "You need to come home right away." And so I get home, and his mom and dad were there, and they were crying. And Ryan said, "Kendra wants Micah back." And it honestly gets really blurry from here on out. I mean, I remember, I don't know, it may have been 3 in the afternoon, and we had to be at a Walmart parking lot, which,
But
if
yeah,
people know me, I despise that place. Like, I despise it. Why couldn't it have been a Target,
for
TJ Maxx,
because you would have been shopping.
dollar store? Anything would have been better. I mean, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, I don't know. Of course, I was bawling, having a fit. We were trying to think of anything that we could bring up that would, we just needed 2 more days to get to that 30-day period, and then Kendra would have lost her rights. So when we got to the Walmart parking lot, so many people there were probably 200-300 people there. People from our church were there, our family, our friends. We had lots of sheriffs there. They were running her plates. Everyone was just trying to get something to hold her for 2 more days, so we didn't have to surrender Micah.
Oh
But
my goodness.
yeah, it was, I just remember sitting inside the truck for a while holding her to the very last minute. And I remember at one point I was standing in the middle of everybody, and everybody prayed over Micah, and it was powerful. I mean, people were like not just praying, like yelling, praying, like begging
Wow.
God to do a miracle, change her mind. And Kendra was already there hearing all of this.
She was
And
like, "How am I going to go against this?"
I know.
Wow.
So, and I just remember walking over, and the attorney had told us to not give Kendra anything of Micah's, that she's going to get Micah exactly how she left the hospital, with a onesie on. That was all. I mean, they said, make it hard, make it so she has to go in Walmart and get
Right.
formula, diapers, wipes, a car seat, all the things.
Yeah.
And that was so hard to do. I mean, I put her
Yeah,
in an
because you
outfit.
yeah, and you probably yeah, because you wanted her to be fed and you want right.
Yeah,
So
and
so
she had a favorite passy and a favorite swaddle. I mean, I was like, she's not going to sleep without these things. Like, we had a system.
yeah,
Um, and those were things that were comforting to her. She was 7 weeks old. I mean, she had established a routine by then. Um, I just
man.
remember walking over to her, and I looked at Kendra and I said, she's in God's hands. And I gave her to her. And honestly, the last thing I remember is I fell on the concrete and yelled the top of my lungs, "That's my baby."
Oh, Jada. All right, you trying to make your boy cry over here. Dang, girl. Oh, I can't even imagine, especially for a mom. I mean, and think about that. Like, think about that connection you had in such a short time, and
Yeah.
and you didn't even give birth to her, but it was just like it was yours. Like you were so committed, 100%. It's what you prayed for. It's what you longed for. It's what you waited for, right? And then for someone to try to take that, and then you think about the
Mm.
life.
Oh, yeah.
Dang,
I mean, now,
the
she's
life you
15.
guys the life you guys saved her from.
I know.
That's amazing, Jada. That's awesome.
The joy. I mean, this is going to go into a whole other epic. There's so much, dear God.
Go
There
for
have
it.
been times where, people who know me well know I've suffered from anxiety for a while and some depression. And there have been times I've journaled that Micah has saved my life, because she is
Wow.
so full of joy. I mean, in the loudest way possible. But
Like it's
She,
Joy with a capital Joy.
oh,
It's so cute though.
exclamation mark times 1,000. I mean,
There's no
I
way
just,
she sends
the,
a text. There's no way she sends a text and it's not all caps.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
You're awesome, Micah. We love you.
Just I mean, and that has been everybody's, everywhere she goes, people are like, that she is full of joy.
Oh, it's great.
She lights up my day, her smile. Um, yeah, yeah. So just, yeah, she's freaking amazing. And yeah, I just think about the life, now knowing what we know and some of the, the things she has to deal with, that just the life we've been able to give her, the resources we're able to tap into for
Yeah.
her, she just wouldn't have had. And honestly, that's not even important. It's I mean, we are, and we always said when we had her, I mean, Ryan and I were like, people are worried you're not going to love your adopted child like your biological child. And we 100% legit felt like we don't know if we'll love our biological child as much as we love her. I mean,
Wow.
I mean, we really
Yeah.
felt that way.
Yeah.
Just,
And I think that's natural. Like after the first kid, I don't know. I just love this first one so much. It's so hard to,
yeah, you just can't imagine your
is
heart
there
expanding anymore and having room for somebody
exactly,
else.
exactly. Um, I do kind of want to touch on, I want to get to Skylar because I'm interested in that connection of what you just kind of alluded to. But before we get off of Micah, you mentioned some learning disabilities. What's
Yeah.
going on with that?
Well, we can't stop there. I mean, obviously she came back to us, but
Oh
we need
yeah,
to,
we
but
just
that
skipped like
was,
15 years or
I
whatever.
know. Yeah. Well, I just think it's cool because it shows the power of prayer. So
Right.
that happened at some point. We went home that night and it's a blur. Like there's a few things I remember. Um, Apparently, word got out like across the world. I mean, people were emailing us in other countries saying, we heard about your, I mean, just friends and family start talking, they put it on social media, and before you know it, there are thousands of people
Yeah.
praying. And I'm not kidding. When, so the next day, I'll come back. The next day in the morning, our attorney called Ryan and said, I've been on the phone with Kendra since like 3 this morning. Skylar or Micah hasn't slept. She won't eat. She won't stop crying. She's not happy. She doesn't love me. She doesn't love me. And Ryan said, well, Jada's getting ready to book us. I was like, I got to get to the ocean, my piece. Like, I got to get out of this
Yeah.
house because everything around me is Micah. And he said, well,
Right.
don't leave yet. So anyway, round one, he said, Kendra wants to give her back to you guys. So we drive about an hour away to Fairfield and we pick her up. It was horrible. I mean, the adoption
And
specialist was there, the attorney was there.
so that was that the 30th day.
Oh no, this was the next day, and we had to
Okay.
restart the 30 days over.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we
Oh
walked in the house. I picked up Micah. They said, don't say a word to her, just go in and get her. And we did. And the house was, I mean, it looked like fog machines were going off. There was so much smoke and
oh
it was, and just horrible living situation. I mean, horrible. So anyway, so we went home, and days later, as the word got out that she came back home, people were, and Kendra had told us, I'm sorry, the adoption attorney, she had told him that she was a terror. She was a holy terror all night long, which wasn't Micah. I slept trained her. That girl was sleeping through the night at 3 weeks. Like I said, she
really?
was in a routine. Yeah, I did. There's a baby wise. I did baby wise with her. Anyway, the next week, as emails started coming in, we just started talking to people. We had so many people say we prayed that she'd be a holy terror.
Oh my
Exactly what
goodness.
Kendra said that she was. I mean, and we didn't tell people to pray though. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't even send out an email. I don't know who sent out an email, but nobody from what I know said prayed that she'd be a holy terror. And so
Right.
anyway, that was
Wow.
crazy.
Hmm.
So
Man.
yeah. So yeah, we had to restart that 30 days, and that was really rough. Honestly, Kendra called every day, acting like nothing had happened, and
Man,
just
just it yeah, it makes you wonder just what part of me wonders what was going through her head at the age of 23. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it's like, have you had any contact with her at all? Do you have any idea
No. She
that?
when Micah was 6, I think, obviously Ryan's not hard to find, Ryan Black Films, and she knew he was a photographer at the time. So she did find his Facebook when she was 6, and she asked to see her. And Ryan said, we can't, we're not going to do that. And he talked a little bit to her and said, what you did it was traumatic. It was traumatic. I
Right.
mean, um, he
Does
said, we'll send you a picture or two. And that was the last we've ever heard from her.
um does Micah have any desire to see her, meet her?
Yeah. She's had some moments where she's cried about her and said she misses her. And I think she's just trying to interpret her feelings the best way. I said, well, how could you miss her? You never really, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, she's definitely had some moments where she says, she misses her. And so I'm trying to understand it. We haven't heard anything in a year, but there's been moments where she's talked about her. And I think she'll want to locate her eventually. I mean, she's very curious about all of it. So I don't know.
That's interesting what you do in that situation, because I mean, you could have made the same comments to your mom growing up, right?
Yeah.
I want
I,
to meet my dad. Like, where is he? Like, right? And your mom's probably like, well, it's best that you don't.
yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, right
man.
now, like, yeah, you're 15. There's a whole other, there's just life already. Like, now is not a good time to introduce that.
Right.
But when you're
Yeah.
older and if you want help, then I will absolutely be right by your side as long as you want me to be.
Right.
I can understand that curiosity. I,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
can.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't that crazy? It's like, it's just funny how just life, how it just pieces together, and
I
how
lined up.
you can understand some of her emotions because you've dealt with it in a not the same manner, but
Yeah,
still, it's like it's all related. It's just crazy
it's crazy.
how life works like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, well, I mean, we'll talk about Skylar. I mean, eventually you guys were obviously able to get pregnant, and then you guys had
Yeah.
Skylar. How did, I don't want to ask
So,
how that happened, but
well, it all started with the night of worship. And
okay. Hallelujah.
hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Um, well, gosh, that was 6 years later, and we had had another miscarriage in between the two. And again, nobody ever said, this is why. And we
Yeah.
actually had started the adoption process again when we found out we were pregnant with Skylar. We actually were just going into child wait mode, which means that we had done all of our classes, we had gotten fingerprinted, done all the things. We were just waiting to be matched with a foster child.
Oh wow.
Um, and then one night, I don't know, I felt pregnant. I was like, I need to go pee on a stick. Ryan was doing
I need
it
to go
was
pee on a stick.
I did. Ryan was shooting a wedding, and Micah was like, okay, let's go to we went to the drugstore, we bought tests. I peed on him in the Walgreens bathroom, and sure enough, they were positive. And we were like freaking out. And so anyway, Ryan came home and I told him, and it was crazy. Had a smooth pregnancy.
Wow.
Um, I couldn't have asked for a smoother pregnancy. I wasn't anxious at all. I just felt so safe with her and felt like this is going to be good.
That's awesome.
And
And
she came out a toddler, but we just welcomed her into the world. And
yeah, you kind of alluded to it earlier, and I know it's kind of hard to admit or whatever, but was there any different type of bond in the beginning from holding a baby that you produced from one that you didn't? It was the exact same, huh?
no, I mean, it wasn't the same, but it wasn't any less. It was I mean, obviously it was amazing, but it felt different, but it didn't feel any less at all. It just felt like its own experience.
Yeah.
Um,
And it
and I,
is. And it
yeah,
is. That's
it
what's
is.
cool.
And I wanted, And I wanted Micah in that room as soon as possible. I didn't care about anyone else. I was like, I want her big sister in here right now. I want,
Yeah.
I wanted Mike. I remember feeling very like I wanted to be intentional about having Micah as part of that experience as much as possible.
How's their relationship?
Oh Lord. I mean, right now they hate each other. I mean,
Yeah.
15 and a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And Skylar is just really bossy, and Mike is a little bit sensitive and emotional. I mean, but I mean they love each other. I mean,
Sound like
it's just
they sound like females.
I, yeah. Imagine two really
I've
emotional, high-strung females, well, three
yeah.
living together.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a few
But
of those too. So I can relate.
yeah, I mean,
It's fun though.
yeah,
I love it. It's fun.
yeah,
It's fun.
they're funny together. I mean,
Oh
and
man.
the funny thing is people comment more on Micah than Skylar about, oh my gosh, she is such your child. I can't believe how much she's looking like you. I mean,
Isn't that funny?
it's crazy.
Do you even explain it? Like if someone that doesn't
You know,
know.
you know me. I used to, and Ryan got to the point. He's like, you got to stop giving everyone your life story. I mean,
It's hard not to though,
and
It's
it
interesting.
is because it's so crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And now that Mike is older, it's her story to share. I want
Yeah.
her to, and she ain't embarrassed. She is wide open about adoption. I mean, everybody at Target knows her and knows she's adopted. I mean,
She just walks around telling people.
well, I mean, we're checking out and she's like, so I'm adopted, and just random. It just, and imagine a cashier's like, oh, looks at me like, is she supposed to say that? And I'm like, we're very proud of it. We're very proud of it. It's Adoption Awareness Month every month in our home.
Yes. Oh, it's so funny. It's like she's proud of it, It's like, maybe she knows. Maybe she realizes, how fortunate she
She's
is.
she's so proud of it. Yeah. And
So
yeah.
good. So let me ask you this. I was kind of thinking about this question earlier. Would you take any of it back? Your whole life? The situation you're born into, the walk, like
No.
do you just feel like it was just all part of it? All just it's got you
I
to this moment right now?
Yeah. I mean, it's just my story. I mean,
Yeah.
it's my life. I wouldn't, I mean, we all say it. It's such a cliche saying, it's cheesy, but we are who we are today because of those things we walk through. I mean, things can either define us. Well, they do define us, I think, either in a good way or a negative way. And I haven't dealt with everything that's been handed to me in the right way all the time.
Right.
But
That comes
I
with
mean,
maturity.
right. I mean, in a different perspective. And I mean, and that's where Ryan has come in and always just helped point me to, things aren't always how my emotions, make them out to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. I think like podcasting is one of the first things that really opened me up to more people's perspectives and ideas and upbringings and walks through life, just kind of hearing them talk about their situation and their childhood and all that. It just really, really paints that picture of like, you're literally born and then it's whatever. Cause it's like some things are going to
yeah,
affect you that gives you insecurities for the rest of your life and hold you back from reaching your dreams or your goals. You may meet the wrong guy or the wrong girl, or your marriage doesn't work and there's a divorce and there's kids like there's just so many different ways it can go. And it's like when you can literally stop and just realize you have a family and you have loved ones, like the
yeah.
biggest security that you and I have is that there's no way we're hitting rock bottom without somebody helping us.
I don't even think we would
Isn't it
get
great?
halfway to rock bottom.
No,
Somebody would be
I'm
there to.
halfway. I'm halfway.
Are you okay? I'm doing better than you.
Yeah, what's that water taste like? I'm over here sipping hot tea like an old man in my leather chair. Let me tell you about the good old days, Jada. Remember when we were kids and we had no worries? We was listening to
Totally.
Christian music and getting in trouble for it.
Oh
Anyways.
my God, we didn't even talk about that. Lord, do
Dude.
I got the stories for that. My
Oh man.
volleyball uniform, like you don't want to talk about that? And I still had skills. I still had
Oh,
skills.
you're still sweating from it. It's like made out of curtains. Yeah, that's why you're still red. It's got rashes from the full on outfit you guys had on.
Polyester curtains. Like
Just
people, I know people think we're dramatic when we talk about that.
oh,
It,
people don't
yeah,
get it.
they don't. I was like the curtain rod, and my volleyball uniform were the drapes, like all over the place.
Oh my gosh, it was so pathetic. God love them. What are you
And,
doing, man? That's a small
but
town church for you.
we thought we were the
Oh,
shit. We
there
thought
you go. Drop it, girl. I mean, we did. And it was a fun click. I mean, it's like I said earlier,
it was.
yeah, I
There were
mean,
so many amazing personalities in that group and talent. I mean,
oh
that was a
yeah.
fun group. I mean,
It was so much fun.
it when I first left Indiana and it I mean there were some things growing up and I'm gonna call it a legalistic church because
Oh,
it was.
facts. Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah. It
And
was,
that
yeah.
that caused some huge issues. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know. Do you
especially going from to California, I'm sure
Oh, well,
culture shock.
yeah. I mean, it just yeah, I mean that's a whole podcast in itself. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I was just saying like there were like such an amazing group of kids. I mean, I even though I feel like it kind of steered me away from I had to figure out who God was in a whole different way after I left Indiana, and that was rough. I mean, I had
Right.
adopted a belief about him that just was not true. Um,
Yeah. I think a lot of us did.
yeah. But I mean, I'd do it all over again because we had such fun experiences. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the I guess the point of all of it. It's just like all the struggles, all the ups and downs. It's just like I don't know, man. I think it's a little bit because I'm getting older. I'm at 40. I'm at halftime probably.
Oh,
my dad
gosh.
my dad always says my dad always says he's in the fourth quarter looking for overtime. I love it's like I love it when he says that. I was like that's a good analogy.
I don't like it. I don't like
I
it.
know. But look, man, I mean, it's reality, and it's hard. And it's like, it's part of why I want to do these podcasts, just to, have a little piece of my family, have a piece of my friends, have a piece of, I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully one day it's somebody I met at Kroger, and we struck up a
Oh,
conversation and I invite him to tell me his story. You know what I'm saying?
totally. Well, even for
There's a
our
lot.
kids to have this when they're our age, I
Yeah.
mean, what we wouldn't give to have a
Oh yeah.
video of our parents' thoughts at this age,
Yeah. 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 And
you know.
we're in the mix of it. Man, I always say this. It's like we're trying to teach our kids how to live and we don't even know.
We're
Like
still learning.
we're yeah.
I
And
don't know what I'm doing.
think about a 10-year gap, Jada. Think about Micah at the IQ of 15 to 25.
Oh,
What makes you think our IQ doesn't change from 40 to 50 and 50 to 60, right? Like we're constantly just going to grow and understand life a little bit better and try to put that into them. But
some of
you
us.
know
Some of us.
yeah, yeah, I
I,
don't know, man. I don't know if I'm figuring it out
I
or not.
actually don't know if your IQ can grow. I don't know if it can.
Yeah, well, yeah,
But
you
no.
get my point. there's
Yeah,
there's a big maturity in those 10-year gaps, so
for sure.
yeah.
Huge. I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, well,
Oh,
good, man. It was good to talk to you. I know there's a lot more, and I'm sure we'll do it again. I'd love to get you and Derek on here and just
oh
talk
my
about whatever.
gosh.
Yeah, it'd be fun. But
That would be so fun.
yeah, but
Oh my gosh.
I
All of the
know.
people
Well,
that you have to get on here is
I know. I'm real excited. I really am. And I mean, I've just got some other friends. I'm doing another one Thursday with a buddy of mine that just did his first kickboxing match. So there's just
uh-huh.
different things I can talk about with him. But so
So
yeah.
is there anybody you want to come on but you don't think that they will?
Ooh.
I'm practicing my podcast skills.
I think you'd have a great podcast, by the way. I think it's something you should think about doing.
I've always thought about there's a video, and it would for sure be video because I love seeing people's faces and
Yes,
eyes. And there's one called Cat and Nat. They're the two funniest women in creation. I need a
really.
partner. I feel like I need a partner. I wish you would move to Tennessee. We would
Yeah,
be we
I
would be famous.
I have very much, when I was talking to Derek about doing this podcast, I was like, man, there's part of me that just wants, like, I think me, you, and Jada would be hilarious together. It would be so much fun.
Gosh.
Yeah, I'm already doing the other one, and then this one. It's just hard to fit it in, but it would be
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know, man. I mean, there's part of
Say it.
they wouldn't do it because they wouldn't put it on the air. I don't know if I should say it. The three brothers and the sister, and get the truth.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's a lot there, and I'm thankful for my upbringing. I mean, there's definitely some stuff that, like you said, you know, there's
Yeah.
definitely some things that really, I had such a weird thought. Ooh, I about cried because
Oh.
the hardest part for, dang it,
Mm. Well, Lord, I didn't know this was gonna.
I didn't either. I didn't even mean to cry.
See, I'm a good
uh,
podcaster. Look at what I'm
yeah,
doing.
yeah, you made me cry twice. No, honestly, man, when I think about that upbringing and just that real strict Christianity, the biggest thing that kills me is that is I felt like my dad, who was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Like it.
there was times where I was like, man, my dad hasn't walked down the altar to give his life to the Lord, so like he's not this like perfect father figure or this perfect man.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know. And then I hear about the shit that went down, and they're
yeah.
pointing their
And
finger at him. God, sorry, I didn't even mean to go there.
no, and we all believed it. I mean, and he was right all along. I mean,
He was right.
I know. I hate that. I hate that. I mean, and your dad, I mean,
And it's still that way, man.
yeah.
I guess I don't know, man. And it's so far in the past, and it's so, it's childhood, but still, it was, though. I just remember, like, I just remember always thinking, like,
Well, he was your
like,
dad. I mean, if
yeah,
they made you feel like that, how did you think he felt? Do you know what I
exactly,
mean? Just
exactly. And he had to deal with that all the time, and
yeah.
we always inviting him to church, and he's just like, oh man, like, I don't want to go. I don't
Who
want to
wants to
hear
go and be under that?
hellfire and brimstone. Yeah, it just,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
I mean,
dang.
I know that would be an amazing conversation to hear, but I don't know.
Yeah, and it's, it is what it is. I have a relationship with all of them, and I see
Yeah.
that side of the family a lot, and it's
Yeah.
hugs, and it's appreciation, I guess. I don't know if it's appreciation is the word, but
Yeah.
you know,
I'll just say this. I don't think anything was ever intentional. I think they got lost in their way and caught up in something. I don't know. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I always
It's
say,
unfortunate that it made so many of us go through the questioning and that I mean, well, I guess I can just speak for myself. It was
right.
unfortunate how it made me view God and other people. I mean, I'm not going to lie. There for a while, you hear it so
You
much, you
judged
start
everyone.
believing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember thinking, like, if I saw someone at a restaurant drinking a beer, like, man, they're gonna go to hell. Like,
Which is
what should I do for them? or if they're smoking a
Yeah,
cigarette, or if they cuss. Like, it's just that legalistic
if
bull
if
crap,
they have
man.
if they have tattoos, I mean, just
Oh, just everything.
where is the loving people just as they are? I mean, just yeah, we could
I
go
feel
on and
like
on.
the more, yeah. Yep. Man, Jada.
Crazy. Anyway,
Man, do we end it
mm,
there?
gosh, I know.
I mean, god
You're
dang.
you're gonna edit that, right?
I don't know. No, you know what? Hey, it's real talk, man.
It is.
I love all them. I love the past. I don't regret any of it, man. Because listen,
It's a part of who we are today. I mean, it just
yes,
is. It
and listen, I believe this. You and I are really great people, and we really love people. And
damn
we
straight.
learned that somewhere along the way, whether it be from my mom or my dad or a pastor or a Sunday
Right.
school teacher, or who, like, wherever it came along, where it's helped us. It's part of our story, man. It is
It's
what it is.
helped us become who we are and have the characteristics that we do. Like, I
Yeah.
think those came from more than just the people that we think. I think people that we think didn't contribute did. That we picked, you know what I mean? Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. I hear it. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I love you. I'm proud
Oh,
of
this
you.
is fun. I love you too.
Yeah.
I'm proud of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I appreciate you doing this. And
When you're
shout out to
famous one
Ryan.
day.
No, I don't know. I'm not, I don't know what this is. It's just fun for me right now. And,
Yeah, no, I know.
I enjoy it. And,
I think
so
it's cool.
yeah,
I think to get people to open up and talk about their life, I think is very healing in
yeah.
a lot of
And there,
ways.
and there's more, and I'm going to listen back on this and critique the crap out of some of the stuff I said, but it is
Oh
what
my
it is.
God,
Like,
me
yeah.
too. Like, I don't even know if I made sense on anything. Like, I'm not, yeah, I
Yeah.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
It's,
I was watching Derek's and I was like, gosh, he verbalizes things so well. He used so many big words, talking all proper, and I was like,
with his with his glasses on.
with his glasses on, and then comes his
It's
uneducated sister right behind him.
whatever. You're so funny. I think that is something we've had in common, where it's like we really do love to entertain, and I mean Derek does too, but like we've always, I mean, we love being the life of the party.
We are the ones who make people laugh.
But for
And
the longest time, we were afraid to, I think, put the camera on us. Do you feel
yeah,
that? Right? Like, because
totally.
I critique the crap out of it. I think about the stupid stuff I say, or
Or we just
what,
waiting
like,
till it is perfect. We talked about that in
yes.
that conversation. I was in my
Yeah.
car in my driveway. I remember it. And
Yeah.
we talked about things that we wanted to do, and we're waiting. We're
You were very,
so paranoid about other people's opinions and that it's
yes.
not perfect. And what were you
Yeah.
gonna say?
Yeah. I was going to say, I remember you kind of struggling then, because you were like, I just want to do something. I don't like, yeah, I'm a mom, and I'm doing great here, but like, I'm
And I
not.
still feel that.
Yeah. Yeah. I work
I
in
mean,
2 jobs, 3 jobs, and I still feel that. It's just, I think that's something in us.
yeah, I don't think everybody has that. I think I don't know. And maybe this is it for you. I mean, maybe you're going to find some fulfillment in this. I think you will.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think you will.
there's definitely fulfillment in it, just because I enjoy it. I mean, I can't wait to do it with my parents, and,
Yeah.
and sister, and
Oh,
whoever, whoever else. I mean, it just, it'll be fun.
yeah.
So yeah. So,
That's cool.
all
Mm,
right.
all right.
Well, that's it.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Tell everybody I said hey.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. There you go.
What's up,
Oh, boy.
Micah? I got your chapstick, Jada.
Look, I got it lined up right
That looks
here.
good.
What's that? My chapstick.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. This looks good.
No, I can't. No, we got an interview to do. Go. Bye.
Hi,
Give me that.
Micah. I see you.
Give me that chapstick.
Like laughing at me.
Give it to me. Okay, bye.
I'm crazy.
Bye. Love you.
We know.
This is the extra moisturizing one. I'm gonna put that right there in front.
You gonna give me appetizers like this. My next episode, I'm gonna have all these sponsors, all for female products.
This one's called Lipgasm. Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. You can rub this on different spots. Get out.
This is going as expected. Oh, I miss you, Jada. All right, get these kids out of here.
Okay, get out.